The Last of Us Part 2's review scores are finally out, and I'm not even gonna talk, I'm just gonna show you guys the score from a few of the game reviewers who have all now rated the game a perfect 10 out of 10. Which means this game is now a solid contender for a game of the year and also is considered a masterpiece of this generation. Now, one of my friend Jaw Raptor, who is also a YouTuber who got to play the game's early copy, a review copy, and he has now given us some very in-depth deep dive into some of the core mechanisms of The Last of Us Part 2. And I've got to say this though, from all of the reviews I've seen so far today, I think Jaw Raptor's review gives us the best details and insights of what The Last of Us Part 2 is all about. Now, according to Jar, he basically finished the entire game in just 28 hours. And a few other people who played the game have also said that the game can actually take up to 36 hours if you are exploring every part of the game in a much higher difficulty without really having to rush into the main story. Now, the first thing that I noticed is that you will now be able to pet dogs in The Last of Us Part 2, and it seems like there are pets available inside the Jackson's camp. And in this clip here, you can actually see Ellie petting one of this dog, which is also from one of the concept arts that we have seen previously. And it is really cool to know that we are not just going to be killing dogs, but we are also going to be loving dogs in the game, which kind of sounds really obvious because Ellie is on a killing rampage and she doesn't care about killing dogs anyways. So the game basically starts off with 4 years after the prequels event, and Ellie has her own house in Jackson, and it seems like players will now be able to explore Jackson with complete freedom. And if you guys take a close look at Ellie's room, it actually looks incredibly detailed, and I just can't stop but think that there's going to be a ton of Easter eggs which will be hidden in this room. Now, moving on with one of the biggest upgrade in The Last of Us Part 2 from The Last of Us Part 1 is going to be the AI companions in the game. It seems like the AIs in the game will feel much more realistic and much more human-like because they are now going to be helping you throughout the combat and also if you get spotted by the enemies. And like Jaw Raptor says, you will now feel like you have someone with you beside you all the time that can actually help you out in different situations so that you don't really feel lonely like in most of the games, also in The Last of Us Part 1 of course, and you no longer will have this feeling of babysitting a character throughout the game's journey. Now, like I said before, The Last of Us Part 2 is going to have a massive map that has multiple buildings and places that players can now enter and interact with. Now, if you guys remember how Uncharted 4 had this really huge Madagascar level, and there were so many things that you can look at and also interact with, but in The Last of Us Part 2 you can actually interact with the world, and you can also explore every building that you see around you, kind of like a semi-open world game, but this is in fact a level instead of an open world. So the game is going to give complete freedom to the players where you can now choose to simply play the main story, or you can also choose to explore the massive world of The Last of Us 2. Now, let's say the game puts you into one of the main missions where you have to go to a particular location where you will now be able to absolutely ignore the main mission and just explore the world. And by exploring the world, you can now see some side stories, Easter eggs, and also some secret collectibles and unlocks which can only be gainable if you decide to explore the entire map. Now, another really interesting thing that I've seen from Jaw Raptor's review here is that the enemies in the game are going to be super interesting. Now, it seems like every enemy in the game is going to have a name for themselves, and even their dogs are going to have different names, and these dogs are actually someone's pet. So they're not just some extremely aggressive animals that just want to attack you for no reason. So these dogs and the enemies that you're going to be encountering in the game are just some people who are patrolling as guards, and they're probably in Ellie's way to reach her goal. But other than that, they don't really have any grudge or anything against Ellie in personal. So killing these people off or even those dogs in cold blood is totally gonna screw you guys with your feelings, and the game is totally gonna make us feel really bad for all the decisions that we make. Now, Jaw Raptor has also confirmed the game is going to have a new Game Plus feature, which means you can now replay the entire game with all the unlockable items that you already owned. And like Neil Druckmann said, in order to get all of the things and everything unlocked in the game, you will now need to play the game multiple times. And each time you play the game, you will see different things happening that you have never seen before in your first playthrough, which actually sounds really interesting and kind of gives you that reason to replay the game over and over. Now, I also read the Kotaku's article on The Last of Us Part 2's game review, and it seems like the Part 2 is a game that's going to be showing you violence as the main focus. Now, the first game had this character's introduction and showed us how naive side of Ellie and the father figure Joel's storyline. But according to Kotaku's reviews here, it seems like The Last of Us Part 2 is all about violence, revenge, and hatred. And this game is entirely opposite of what The Last of Us Part 1 represented. And Kotaku has also said that this game is going to be extremely dark and will also have a very emotional storyline. Now, all of the reviews I've seen so far have now claimed that the game is going to have all the players surprised, even if you have seen all the spoilers on the internet, because not everything we saw is entirely true. And also I saw in one of this review where the guy said that these spoilers that we have seen is going to be a twisted little version of what the actual truth is all about. And once you play the game and once you know the actual truth, it is absolutely going to surprise us, and we would have never expected that to happen. And from what I have heard from a few other people who got to play the game early, they all said that we are gonna love this character in particular once we play the game. So it seems like this mystery woman is someone that we players are gonna get emotionally attached with. And I just can't wait to see what this is all about. And I would just suggest you guys to go with open mind and do not expect something to happen in the game, because you're just trying to play a story, so you don't really have to expect on what's going to happen next. So all you have to do is just sit back, enjoy the game, and let the story flow as it is supposed to. We are now officially 1 week away from the release of The Last of Us Part 2, and I am doing a giveaway of The Last of Us 2 digital code for a standard edition. So if you guys are a subscriber to the channel, then you can basically win the game by simply staying the most active on the channel as well as on my Twitter page, and I will be picking the winners on 18th June, and you will be receiving a pre-order code for the game in your DMs. And the other 2 games shown in the screen is also out for giveaway, and I will be picking the winner one day before the release of each game. Now, if you guys are new to the channel, then you should know that I am covering The Last of Us Part 2 from tidbits to basically every piece of content you ever need of the game. So make sure you guys are subscribed to my channel, and don't forget to smack that notification bell on so that you guys don't miss out on my daily videos as well as the live streams, which I'm planning to do every single day. And in a couple of hours, I'm going to be live streaming Horizon Zero Dawn. And if you guys want to go ahead and join me on the stream, then I would really appreciate that. And if you guys did go on and enjoy this video, then please don't forget to leave a like, as your support would be really helpful to the video as well as the channel. And with that being said, I hope you guys have a blast of a day, and I'll see you guys on tomorrow's video. Till then, take care fams, and goodbye.